What if there was a car that could power itself without ever needing to stop at a charging station? A car that recharges as it drives, giving you freedom from cables, plugs, and long waiting times. It sounds like science fiction, but it is happening today, and it's not coming from Silicon Valley, Germany, or China. It is coming from Africa. For years, the biggest challenge for electric vehicles has been the same: charging. Waiting hours at a station, worrying about range, planning every trip around power plugs. But what if that problem simply disappeared? Recently, an American driver traveled across Africa to test something extraordinary: the continent's first self-charging electric vehicle. What he discovered left him speechless, and it may just change the future of transportation forever. For more than a decade, the global auto industry has been racing toward electrification. Companies like Tesla, BYD, Rivian, and many others have invested billions of dollars into electric mobility. EVs are celebrated as the clean, sustainable alternative to gasoline cars. Yet, even with rapid progress, one problem has remained unsolved: how to make charging faster, cheaper, and more convenient. Range anxiety has become a phrase every EV owner knows. Drivers are forced to map their journeys around charging stations. In developed nations, this means building huge charging networks. But in Africa, where charging infrastructure is limited and power grids are often unstable, that approach doesn't work. And instead of giving up, innovators asked a different question: what if we didn't need charging stations at all? This question gave birth to a groundbreaking project. A group of African engineers came together and founded a company known as AfriMotion Motors. Their mission was simple but daring: to create an electric car that could recharge itself as it drives. This wasn't about luxury or showing off. It was about solving real problems faced by millions of people. How do you make an EV work in a place where chargers are rare, where electricity is unreliable, and where distances are long? The answer was to eliminate the need for charging altogether. The result was a car that promised unlimited freedom on the road, with a bold tagline: "Drive forever, without plugging in." The design of the car is sleek and futuristic, but still practical. It's not a concept vehicle meant only for shows. It is built for the streets of Lagos, Nairobi, Johannesburg, and beyond. Dust, heat, heavy rain, rough roads. The car is designed to handle them all. But the most important feature lies beneath its surface. This vehicle uses a combination of solar panels integrated into the roof and hood, regenerative braking systems that convert motion into energy, and a smart battery management system that maximizes efficiency. Some prototypes even include a small microturbine for backup power. In practice, it means this: as the car drives under the African sun, it continuously absorbs energy. When the driver slows down or brakes, energy is captured and stored. When the car is in motion, the system ensures that the battery is never simply draining but always recovering. Unlike Tesla, which depends on superchargers, or BYD, which relies on fast charging networks, this African EV depends on nature itself: the sun, motion, and physics. It is not perfect. On cloudy days or at night, solar contribution is lower. The system still has limits, and efficiency is still being improved. But the breakthrough is clear: it works. You can drive for days without ever needing to stop at a charger. When the American driver arrived in Africa, he was curious but skeptical. He had been driving EVs in the United States for years. He loved them, but hated the constant planning required for charging. His Tesla was fast and powerful, but he often found himself waiting at stations. He wanted to see if the claims about Africa's self-charging car were true. The moment he sat inside, he noticed the differences. The dashboard was modern, minimalistic, and futuristic. The seats were comfortable, the visibility wide. He began his journey in the busy city streets, then moved onto highways, and finally into rural landscapes. At first, he kept glancing nervously at the battery indicator. In America, he was used to seeing it slowly tick down with every mile. Here, something unusual happened. The number wasn't falling the way he expected. In fact, after a long stretch of driving, it had gone up. He pulled over, checked the system, and couldn't believe what he was seeing. The car was charging itself while in motion. His skepticism turned to excitement. He compared it to his Tesla back home and said, "Back in the US, I plan my life around chargers. Here, I just drive." Over the next several days, he tested the car on different terrains. City traffic, long highways, mountain roads, dirt tracks. Each time, the result was the same. The car never needed to be plugged in. The sun powered it during the day, regenerative braking supported it during stops and slopes, and the smart battery kept energy balanced. By the end of the journey, the American driver was convinced. This wasn't a gimmick. This was real. He described the feeling as freedom, freedom from charging anxiety, freedom from waiting, freedom from planning life around power plugs. The global implications of this are massive. If Africa can make a self-charging EV work, the entire industry could be disrupted. Oil companies face another threat as fewer people need fuel. Western and Asian automakers, who invested billions in charging networks, may need to rethink their strategies. Investors are already looking toward Africa, curious about the potential of scaling this technology. Could Africa become a leader in sustainable mobility? For the first time in modern history, Africa is not just following global trends. It is setting them. There are still challenges. Scaling production is expensive. Solar panels and advanced batteries are not cheap. Efficiency must improve before mass adoption can happen. But experts believe that the foundation is strong. Today, it is just one company and one car. Tomorrow, it could be millions. Imagine highways filled with vehicles that never stop for fuel or charging. Imagine rural communities gaining access to modern transport without waiting for infrastructure. Imagine Africa exporting technology to the rest of the world, flipping the script of history. The future of this project is bright. Afrimotion Motors plans to expand production, lower costs, and eventually enter global markets. Partnerships with European and Asian firms are already being discussed. The vision is clear: a world where mobility is sustainable, clean, and independent of charging stations. And so, when an American driver tested Africa's self-charging EV, he wasn't just reviewing a new vehicle. He was witnessing the beginning of a revolution. Imagine a world where cars never stop for fuel. Imagine highways powered by the sun, by motion, by innovation. A world where Africa takes the driver's seat in shaping the future of transportation. The question is not if this future will arrive, but how soon. Would you drive a self-charging EV? The road ahead has already begun, and it may never end.